Thanks, guys. Well, as Mother's Day approaches, we've gathered a group of fabulous moms to talk about the highs and lows of this huge responsibility called motherhood. Thanks, ladies, for joining us.
It's good to be here.
So, happy Mother's Day.
Oh, and happy Mother's Day.
Thank you. Okay, I want to hear what you love about motherhood first. Ruth, do you want to start?
Well, Maggie, I really believe that I became a better person when I became a mom. My kids just brought about, I don't know, like as a young adult, you're somewhat sort of selfish, self-oriented, and you kind of care more about yourself. And then when you get married, you kind of adjust a little. But I tell you, when you have kids, all of you has to go out the window, right? So it becomes very, you have to really be focused on your kids, and that's really, it just changes you on the inside. So.
Yeah. One of the greatest things I loved was, instead of calling me like stepmom Melinda, I had Nathan and Sophie call me mentor Melinda. So I really felt that when you come into a blended family and you become a stepmom, my role really felt like a mentorship, because we were like, we want to honor your mom, and now I'm coming into your life to be a mentor. So the highs for me is that all the things that I have spoken about, taught about, preached about are now with these kids, poor kids, but I can just mentor them and hopefully becoming just better versions of themselves and great adults. So, yeah.
You know, the thing that I love about being a mom is being Jonah's mom. I love how God chooses our children, and I love what I got, and I love how he was uniquely brought to me to change me, to challenge me, to bring more joy in my life, to grow me, and I just can't get enough of that we were picked for each other.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Colleen?
The jokes, the laughs, the madness, the craziness. I'd love it all.
Yeah.
That's it. They are my entertainment for life.
Yes, absolutely.
Now, as you entered into motherhood, what is one thing that you wish another mother had turned to you and told you, by the way, before you have this child, or before you enter into the situation, this is what you need to understand and know? Melinda?
That teenage boys are stinky. And I'm not even joking.
True. You're speaking truth.
It's not like a dead animal in the house. It's actually his feet. And I know that sounds so like, but it really is. And so you have to make some changes on smells and washing and things. And also, they do leave the milk and orange juice in the fridge this much. So when you reach for it there. I know it's funny, but those were things I'm like, I had no idea that actually happened, and it does.
Yeah. For me, it's how selfless you have to become. Like, I want the last piece of cake. It's true. And I give it to him. I want to go visit a friend.
That's honest.
But he doesn't feel like it. I want to, there's so much of I want, and I give it up.
That's good.
Yeah. And I want the cake.
Yeah.
On Mother's Day, eat the last piece of cake.
I think you should have the cake for Mother's Day today. Okay.
How about you, Colleen?
Well, I heard that there were sleepless nights. But what I didn't realize is that you actually never get back to that deep, like REM sleep ever. Ever, because you have like your hearing is now attuned.
So true.
Right, as soon as you're asleep, but you can't be so far asleep that you can't hear. You know, like if danger, you know, is So no one ever mentioned that part.
Yeah. No, this is good. This is good. This is good advice to you moms out there. Okay, how about you, Ruth?
Well, I have to say the worst one, that nobody told me that vomit could go from a bedroom all the way to the bathroom.
Yes.
Like
the projectile. You never. Yeah, it can go so far.
It's crazy. But no one also told me that I could fall so in love with my boys that you can somehow neglect your relationship with your husband as well. And so you have to really make an effort to, as a couple, spend time together, get away together, and nurture that relationship as much as you want. You're so focused on nurturing your kids, and you've got to nurture your relationship with your husband as well.
Okay, there is so much more on this panel. We're just getting started. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Okay, this is real talk. Real talk. Okay, let's talk about the pressure that we feel to have to do it all and be it all. Oh. Am I the only one that feels that, like, you have to conquer it all? How do you process that? And also, on top of that, I'm just gonna add more. Okay. And on top of that, do you feel that we put that pressure on ourselves, or does society put that pressure on ourselves? Because I have my opinions.
Yeah. Oh, wow. I would say, Maggie, both. Like, I would say I put a lot of pressure on myself. I think being a stepmom, you're coming into a situation, so you want to be the best stepmom, the most fun, the most everything. And I think that's on me, you know, starting this blended family together. But I think also society, there is a pressure, you know, especially I think with social media and things, that you got to have it all together. Be a great mom, be a great cook, be a great sewer, be a great nurturer, but yet also be a career woman. Yeah. And, like, be successful.
And look cute. And look cute.
And look cute and look amazing, you know? And so there's a lot of pressure, and I think that's one of the biggest things personally that I struggle with, you know, as a mom in that area. And I'm glad that, you know, there are people that pray for me, and that I do have a community that have my back and a great husband. But it's a daily struggle, to be honest.
Julie, how do you keep mindful of that I don't have to be Superwoman, but I just need to be a good mom to Jonah?
Yeah, because the truth is I can't as a solo mom. I actually can't. Just a few days ago, I was having that conversation with my mom, and I said, like, my house looks tidy, but it's filthy. Like, things are sticking to our feet as we walk through the house. And she said, it can wait. You just take care of the day's tasks, do what you can, and that's going to be enough. There's a lot of pressure on me. I am everything to him and to myself. So it's like, on top of his needs, I have to do every grocery shop and oil change, on top of work, on top of the house. I have to lay some of it down and say, you know, I'm done for the day. I'm just gonna sit and enjoy him, or some quiet time.
Ruth, your kids are older, but when you were raising your kids, like, did you feel this pressure to do everything, be the businesswoman, be everything?
Absolutely. And you know, your biggest concern is, you know, you'll talk to your friends and they're like, well, my kid is in hockey, or my kid is in tennis, and you're like, my kids aren't in hockey and tennis. Oh shoot, when do I sign my kids up? And you feel that, like, you know, you compare yourself to 5 other moms and go, I have to be everything that those 5 other moms are, or 20 other moms. I know some of us have really big, and you feel like you've got to be all of that. And it's really hard to be reasonable with yourself. And let me tell you one really interesting little thing. I felt like I did a good job as a young mom with my young kids. At 18, my son didn't remember half the, you know, feeding the ducks at the park, you know, walking trails and all these cool things that we did. And so you do put a lot of pressure on yourself to be perfect. And you have to remember that the stuff they remember are the moments, the time you spend with them, when you know, go to their room at night and sit and read with them and hug them.
But not necessarily the gifts.
No.
It's the time spent.
It's the time.
You're not gonna remember.
How about you, Colleen?
I can't even remember the question now.
Well, just the pressure that we have to do everything and be everything. And you have 4 kids.
Yes.
I call you Superwoman.
Well, here's the thing, and I think that's where I went wrong. Because of, you know, the number of kids, and I guess it's unusual to have that many, I heard people say, oh, Supermom, and I thought I had to be Supermom.
I'm sorry.
But guess what? No, but here's the thing. You're just saying Supermom because, you actually survived having 4 kids. Not that you are doing it all, looking cute, having this, having that. Just the fact that you are here is amazing. And so the Lord has had me on a journey now where I'm just like, this is right now, right here is amazing, and that's enough. And all the other things, the laundry, the dusting, the sticky stuff on the floor, you know, the haircuts that didn't get done, I think you missed brushing your teeth tonight. We'll get to all of those things, but I have come to a place where I've just laid that pressure down. Because it's not the Lord, it's me, and it's the world that surrounds me that's kind of pushing me to feel like somehow you're not measuring up, you're not enough, and that's just foolishness. I lay it down.
Okay, we're gonna take another break, but we have some more great conversation coming up. Stay with us. Okay, we're back with this fabulous panel of moms. I want to turn our conversation to our kids. All of us are Jesus believers, and we are trying to instill faith in our kids. What are some of the things that you've learned on how you do that? Because I know there are moms that are watching thinking, like, how do I instill Jesus every single day? And there are moms that are going to be watching saying, I tried that, but my kids have wandered away. What would you say, Julie?
Well, I'm parenting a strong-willed child, and so I just have to live it. Yeah. I just have to live it by my example and let God make up the difference. I'm not opening the Bible every day and having Bible study with my teenager. It's not the season.
But I just say, I just heard a sigh of relief. My friends watching. Because that's a part of reality. Not all of us get that opportunity to do that on a constant basis.
Exactly, and he doesn't even live with me full time, so I also don't know what difference is at his other house. And so I just have to let God do his part, and I have to just live it and let him figure it out.
I would agree. I mean, our kids come only on the weekends. They live with their mom through the week. And I think it's just we have to live it, because I realize that they listen and watch us. So we can say a lot, but they're always observing. But I just want to say this, Maggie, one of the things that gives me a relief, and I encourage over the kids, is Lamentations 3:22-23. The steadfast love of the Lord never ceases. His mercies never come to an end. They are new every morning. Great is his faithfulness. So I wake up every morning, and if I failed, I'm like, mercies new every morning. And for them, I say that. You've messed up. Maybe you're, Nate, Sophie, you didn't do the best job, but every morning you wake up, it's a new day to try again. And that encourages me.
And I think about the parents that have, like my kids have gone off into college and university, and they don't go to church. So then you ask yourself, like, did I do something wrong? Like, what did I do wrong? But they were raised with the Bible. They were raised with church. And it's God's job to wrangle those kids. God wrangled me. It's his job to wrangle them. And my job is to pray for them and give them back to God, because ultimately they're his kids. And so even for I think the hard thing too is for parents that have kids with mental health issues, bipolar. You go like, what did I do wrong that my kid turned out this way? And I just want to love on those moms and encourage them, because God has got your kids, and your job is just to continue doing your best for them, because that's what you're called to do. You are uniquely called as a mom, and as the mom to your kids, to be the very best that you can be, and to show God's love, and to continue to pour into their lives for them.
How do you instill faith in your kids?
As Julie said, living it every day. I'm a PK. My kids are now PKs,
Pastor's
grandkids, so they're surrounded. They go to a Christian school, so they're surrounded by the Word and all that stuff. But still, right? We don't know, right? We don't know what the future holds. But my faith is to just continue to pray. Pray over them, pray. Like, I know that I am a product of the prayers that were, said on behalf of my parents, on behalf of me. I know it. I know it. I know it's because of the prayers. And so I just believe on the Word, and I pray over my children, and I give them to him. Every day I'm reminded. Every time I try to stress out about whatever, I give him back to the Lord, and I trust him.
Yeah, and I actually really integrate Jesus a lot in my conversation. When we look at something, when we see something, it's Jesus talk. And I think for even Chris and I, we, as an example, we just want to love each other well, to show an example of God's love to them. So for me, it's loving them well and loving, Chris, my husband, well too.
Okay, we have a minute left, and I want all of us to be able to chime in on this. What do you want your children to remember you as? As you look at, your motherhood, what do you want your children to take away from who you are, Ruth?
I want them to take away, I want them to be really lovely people.
Yeah.
And really care about people, not just the cool ones and the great ones. I want them to take away loving all people.
I want them to take away from me that to be courageous and to love all people, that it's about equality and love and kindness that will change the world, and that comes from Jesus and his example.
Julie?
Contentment. I think we spend so much time searching happiness and chasing happiness. And I believe that just contentment in your life situation in Christ, you will find happiness. But to really seek just that foundational contentment.
Colleen.
Beautiful. I want them to remember me as a funny mom who loved God and loved them like to the fullest. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much, ladies. Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day to you, Maddie.
And happy Mother's Day to you. Stay with us. We'll be right back.